Emma Culligan approached Oak Island with a mix of determination and caution. She knew that what lay beneath the ground was unlike anything she had ever encountered before. Oak Island had always been a place of mystery, with stories of hidden treasures, secret tunnels, and strange occurrences stretching back centuries. But this day would be different. As she stepped onto the site, she could feel the weight of history pressing down on her. Every creak of old wood, every whisper of wind across the island seemed to warn that something monumental was about to happen. She wasn't here to chase myths. She was here to uncover the truth. The area she focused on had been marked as significant by previous excavations. Ground-penetrating radar had revealed unusual patterns in the soil, patterns that could not be explained by natural formations. Emma carefully studied the readings, noting hollow spaces and symmetrical structures beneath the surface. These were not random, they were deliberate, constructed by hands that had long since vanished from history. The mystery of Oak Island was no longer just a tale of treasure hunters. This was something far older, something that could change our understanding of the past. Emma's team had brought in modern excavation equipment, but the tools had to be used carefully. The ground here had been disturbed many times over the centuries, but some areas remained untouched. One wrong move could collapse a tunnel or destroy whatever had been hidden for hundreds of years. Emma coordinated the team, making sure every operator knew their task. Machines moved slowly, carefully removing layers of soil, while Emma inspected the progress constantly. The air was tense. Every sound seemed amplified in the quiet of the early morning. Suddenly, a machine shuddered. It had struck something hard beneath the surface. Emma rushed to the control panel and peered at the screen. The radar and sonar signals both showed a hollow space that had not been there before. This was it, she realized. This was the hidden chamber that so many had searched for, the one that had eluded treasure hunters for generations. The team gathered around, holding their breath. Slowly, they uncovered the entrance. Old wooden beams and carefully placed stones framed the opening, protecting it for centuries. As Emma stepped closer, she felt a strange energy emanating from the chamber. It was subtle, but undeniable, like the place had been waiting for someone to arrive. She pushed forward with caution, carefully examining the doorway. The air that came from inside was cool and musty, carrying the scent of centuries of history. Emma's team held back, giving her space to make the first move. Then she pressed her hand against a particular stone that had long been thought to be just another part of the wall. To everyone's astonishment, the stone moved. The chamber unlocked itself, as if recognizing her presence. Inside, the chamber was unlike anything
they had imagined. It was empty, yet it held a sense of anticipation. In the center, there was a single object placed perfectly. It was still warm, almost as if it had been left there moments ago. Emma stepped closer, heart pounding. As she examined it, she saw something impossible. The object bore her initials carved into it 130 years before she was born. She froze, understanding that this discovery was beyond mere coincidence. The government had quickly intervened, shutting down the site and ordering silence. All previous recordings from the chamber had disappeared, adding to the growing tension and mystery surrounding Oak Island. Emma's team, however, continued cautiously. They documented everything with cameras, measured every detail, and ensured that no harm came to the fragile structure. It was clear that whatever lay in this chamber was extraordinary, a discovery that could alter history. Using ground-penetrating radar, sonar, and traditional excavation methods, Emma and her team carefully explored the area. They discovered that the chamber was part of a complex network of tunnels and hidden rooms, built with precise planning and advanced knowledge for its time. The more they uncovered, the more it became apparent that Oak Island was not simply a place of buried treasure. It was a site of incredible historical significance, constructed to protect secrets that had remained hidden for centuries. As they continued, Emma's experience as an archaeologist became crucial. She analyzed every pattern, every anomaly, and directed the team to proceed with care. They found old wooden beams, still strong after centuries, stones arranged in complex formations, and carvings that suggested knowledge of ancient civilizations or secret societies. Some markings resembled crosses, while others hinted at codes long forgotten. Every discovery raised more questions than it answered, but each clue brought them closer to understanding the island's secrets. At one point, the excavation faced a dangerous moment. Part of the earth above a tunnel began to shift, threatening to collapse. Emma quickly directed the team to reinforce the area with temporary supports. No one moved recklessly. Every shovel, every camera, every measurement was executed with precision. The tension was high, but the team's respect for Emma's leadership kept them focused. Each moment was filled with anticipation, knowing that one misstep could destroy a piece of history. Then, they saw it. A chest, partially buried and obscured by centuries of debris. It was unlike any ordinary treasure chest. Its design was strong,
reinforced with metal, and adorned with symbols and carvings from unknown origins. Emma recognized that this box could be the key to Oak Island's greatest mystery. She carefully directed the team to stop and document the find. They would not remove it hastily. The fragile structure surrounding it demanded patience and strategy. Inside the chest, although not yet opened, there were hints that it could contain items of immense historical value. The carvings on the chest suggested connections to ancient civilizations, secret societies, or possibly treasures long thought lost. Emma's careful approach ensured that the chest remained intact. Any rush could destroy centuries of preservation. The team measured, scanned, and prepared to extract the box in a way that would allow them to analyze its contents safely. As news of the discovery spread, the world reacted with fascination. Social media exploded with discussions, theories, and speculation. Some believed it contained the treasure of the Knights Templar. Others suggested connections to lost civilizations, and some theorized secret government documents. Emma, however, remained focused. She knew that understanding the chamber and the chest required patience, study, and respect for the history of Oak Island. With every passing hour, the chamber revealed more secrets. Ancient beams, carvings, and unusual air currents all pointed to the deliberate and careful construction of the space. Emma and her team worked tirelessly, documenting, measuring, and analyzing. Each finding built upon the last, painting a picture of Oak Island as one of the most carefully constructed historical sites in the world. Even as the team worked, unexplained phenomena occurred. Lights flickered, machines malfunctioned, and electronic devices lost signals. Emma noted that this could be due to natural magnetic fields, but the timing and location were unusual. She cautioned the team to stay alert and careful. The island had a way of testing those who sought its secrets. Every step forward brought excitement, danger, and the promise of uncovering a mystery that had remained unsolved for centuries. Emma's careful leadership kept the team focused on their task. She understood that Oak Island was not just about treasure, but about history, knowledge, and discovery. Each measurement,
scan, and observation was a step toward unlocking a story that had been buried for hundreds of years. As they progressed, the chamber's secrets began to emerge more clearly.
It was as if the builders of this place had left messages specifically for those capable of understanding them. Every symbol, every pattern seemed deliberate, carefully crafted to preserve knowledge for centuries. Emma carefully documented each marking, taking photographs, notes, and even sketches. Her goal was to decode these messages, to understand the story behind Oak Island rather than simply chase treasure. The air in the chamber was thick with history, carrying a faint, musty scent that reminded the team of the centuries that had passed since this place was built. As Emma shone her flashlight along the walls, shadows danced across the carvings, making them appear almost alive. The effect was eerie, yet captivating. The more the team explored, the more they realized that the chamber was far larger than anyone had anticipated. Tunnels branched off in several directions, some of which had been sealed for centuries. Emma understood that these passages might contain additional rooms or hidden objects, but exploring them required extreme care. The structural integrity of the chamber was delicate, and any mistake could bring it down. The chest remained the central focus of their investigation. It lay at the heart of the chamber, surrounded by a protective arrangement of stones and wooden supports. Emma approached it again, this time with even more caution. Using scanning equipment, she examined the chest from every angle. It was clear that the box was not only designed to preserve its contents, but to withstand centuries of decay, natural disasters, and human interference. The craftsmanship was extraordinary, suggesting that whoever had built it had access to knowledge and tools far beyond what was thought to exist at the time. Emma decided that they would not open the chest immediately. Instead, the team documented every inch, measured its dimensions, and performed detailed scans of its surface and internal structure. They carefully marked the chamber with grid lines to ensure that the position of every object remained recorded. This meticulous approach was necessary not only to preserve the chest itself, but to protect the chamber from any potential damage. The Oak Island site had already been disturbed multiple times over the years, and Emma wanted to ensure that nothing was lost or destroyed during their investigation. As they worked, strange occurrences continued to unsettle the team. The lights flickered unpredictably, and electronic equipment often failed for no apparent reason. Motion sensors and temperature gauges showed inconsistent readings. Some crew members began to whisper about the possibility of supernatural forces or ancient protective mechanisms built into the chamber.
Notes about their placement and condition, understanding that even minor mistakes could compromise the integrity of the discovery. The chamber itself continued to offer surprises. Hidden compartments and secret spaces were revealed as they explored further. Some of these contained items that seemed symbolic or ceremonial rather than material. Emma hypothesized that the builders of Oak Island had intentionally included objects of historical or religious significance, creating a site that was both a treasure trove and a record of lost knowledge. The significance of these discoveries was staggering. Oak Island was no longer just a site of legend. It was a historical monument that demanded careful study and preservation. News of Emma's discovery spread quickly. Social media exploded with speculation and excitement. Online communities debated the implications of the find, proposing theories that ranged from the treasure of the Knights Templar to evidence of ancient civilizations previously unknown to history. Some suggested that the discovery could include documents or artifacts that would change our understanding of global history. Emma remained focused, emphasizing that careful analysis was required before any conclusions could be drawn. Over the next several days, Emma and her team continued to explore the chamber, documenting every object, carving, and structural feature. They scanned the walls with advanced imaging technology, mapping the entire space in high resolution. The intricate patterns of the carvings were studied in detail, revealing a mixture of religious, cultural, and possibly secret society symbolism. Each new discovery raised further questions about the origins, purpose, and creators of the chamber. As Emma and her team examined the contents of the chest, it became clear that each item had been placed with extraordinary care. The first objects they uncovered were delicate, small artifacts made of gold, silver, and bronze. Some were intricately engraved with symbols that matched those found on the chamber walls. Emma held up a small medallion, its surface etched with strange geometric patterns that seemed almost mathematical in nature. She speculated that the symbols could be a code or a map, perhaps pointing to other hidden chambers or locations on Oak Island itself. Next, they discovered a collection of documents, carefully rolled and sealed with wax. The paper was surprisingly well preserved for its age, and the ink remained legible. Emma handled them with gloved hands, aware that any exposure to air or light could cause irreparable damage. As she unrolled the first scroll, she saw detailed drawings of tunnels and structures that some of which seemed to correspond to the layout of the chamber.
Oak Island. The illustrations were accompanied by notes in an unfamiliar script. Emma began comparing the symbols to those on the chamber walls, noticing subtle similarities that suggested a deliberate system of communication. Among the artifacts, there were also unusual tools made from materials that were not native to the island. Some appeared ceremonial rather than functional, possibly used in rituals or symbolic activities. One item, a small golden rod with an engraved handle, seemed to be a key of some kind. Emma hypothesized that it could fit into a lock mechanism elsewhere in the chamber, or even in another hidden location on the island. The thought that Oak Island might contain multiple interconnected chambers excited the team, but it also added layers of caution. Any wrong move could endanger the fragile structure or compromise future discoveries. As they continued their careful excavation, the team discovered an object that made everyone pause: a carved wooden box within the main chest. Its surface was covered with intricate carvings resembling a miniature map, possibly indicating the location of something else hidden within the island. Emma studied the carvings carefully, using magnifying lenses and ultraviolet light to reveal faint inscriptions that were invisible to the naked eye. The inscriptions contained numbers, letters, and symbols, forming a code that seemed to blend mathematics with geography. She realized that solving it could uncover another part of Oak Island that had been hidden for centuries. Meanwhile, the chamber itself continued to present challenges. The air temperature fluctuated unpredictably, and drafts of cold wind swept through the tunnels. The lights flickered in strange patterns, sometimes highlighting carvings and objects in the most unexpected ways. The equipment occasionally failed, forcing the team to rely on handheld tools and human ingenuity. Emma's calm leadership kept the team focused. She emphasized that patience was key, reminding everyone that rushing could destroy invaluable history. As they worked, Emma uncovered more evidence suggesting that Oak Island was designed not merely as a hiding place for treasure, but as a complex archive of knowledge. Some carvings appeared to depict celestial events, like eclipses and planetary alignments. Others illustrated ancient architectural designs, possibly showing the engineering techniques of a lost civilization. Emma began to hypothesize that the island was part of a larger network, a repository of both material wealth and intellectual heritage. Each discovery added new weight to the idea that Oak Island's mystery was greater than anyone had imagined. During the excavation, the team also found traces of organic material, wood fragments, textile fibers, and even small remnants of what appeared to be food or ceremonial offerings. These items suggested that the chamber had been actively used, not just hidden and forgotten. Emma carefully cataloged each piece, understanding that they could provide critical information about the people who had built and used the chamber. Carbon dating and chemical analysis would later help determine the age and origin of these materials, possibly connecting Oak Island to historical civilizations far beyond the local region. The tension within the chamber grew as the team uncovered more artifacts and features. Narrow passageways led to dead ends or collapsed tunnels, while concealed compartments revealed more collections of objects and documents. Every corner of the chamber seemed to hold new clues or challenges. Everything from cracks in the stone walls to the way the tunnels were arranged seemed to have secret meanings. Suddenly, a search of illuminated artifacts and a natural echo effect in the tunnels amplified pieces of sound seemingly related to ritual music and even spoken words. The sounds felt uncannily familiar, as if they had once been part of Emma's memories. Emma felt a shift in her perception of time and space. Talking with scientists outside the tunnels became difficult, as if Emma's focus on these ancient sounds had been shifting her consciousness to a different reality. Recognizing the danger in the mental confusion that came with this altered state, Emma decided to break the intake. She smashed open one of the glass compartments inside the tunnels, discontinuing the biological effects some of the ancient artifacts had on team members. Amid long discussions about the essence of these experiences, the team determined that the artifacts had been carefully placed to complement one another in altering the chamber's environment.
Other corridors hinted at larger spaces beyond. Emma and her team carefully mapped each section, creating a detailed diagram of the chamber and its surrounding tunnels. This map would become essential for planning further exploration, ensuring that no part of the chamber was disturbed or lost. Each new corridor, each hidden compartment, reinforced the idea that Oak Island had been meticulously planned and carefully maintained over centuries. The excitement of discovery was tempered by the ever-present risk. The chamber's structure was fragile, and the wooden supports showed signs of aging. Emma frequently reminded her team to move slowly, check every surface, and support any areas that seemed unstable. Even a small mistake could collapse a tunnel or damage a priceless artifact. The combination of anticipation and caution created a charged atmosphere. Every movement was measured, every sound amplified in the silence of the ancient chamber. As the day progressed, Emma realized that the chest contained more than just objects. It was a narrative, a story encoded in materials, symbols, and artifacts. The medallions, rods, documents, and carved boxes all seemed to point toward a larger truth. Oak Island was not just a site of hidden treasure, it was a carefully designed archive meant to preserve knowledge, wealth, and perhaps secrets that were never meant to be fully revealed. Emma's mind raced with possibilities, understanding that she was witnessing one of the most extraordinary discoveries in modern history. By late afternoon, the team had fully documented the chest and its contents. The chamber, now partially cleared and stabilized, revealed more of its secrets. Hidden alcoves contained additional carvings, some almost too faint to see. Others were carved deep into the stone walls, protected from centuries of erosion and human interference. Emma realized that these inscriptions could hold the key to understanding the entire layout of Oak Island, possibly revealing other chambers or even more hidden treasures. The team decided to take a pause, carefully resealing certain areas and reinforcing the chamber before proceeding further. They documented their progress meticulously, ensuring that future researchers could continue the work without losing any information. Emma emphasized that this discovery was only the beginning. The chest had provided clues, but the full story of Oak Island remained untold. The hidden chamber and its contents were a treasure not only in value, but in historical and scientific significance. Emma reflected on the magnitude of the discovery. Oak Island had resisted exploration for centuries, challenging countless treasure hunters, historians, and archaeologists. Yet here, in this chamber, lay evidence of a carefully constructed network of knowledge, wealth, and ingenuity. The chest, the carvings, and the tunnels told a story of planning, skill, and preservation that spanned centuries. Emma understood that the work of uncovering Oak Island's mysteries was far from over. Each artifact, each symbol, and each tunnel had to be carefully studied, documented, and understood before the full truth could be revealed.
Team's work would continue over the coming days, weeks, and months. Detailed analysis of the artifacts, advanced scanning of the chamber, and historical research would slowly piece together the story hidden beneath Oak Island. Emma's careful approach ensured that every step was deliberate, preserving both